I'm here.
Counselor Easton. Counselor Foster.
I'm here.
Counselor Gannan. Counselor Grant.
Present.
Counselor Greenwood.
Present.
Counselor Encina.
Present.
Counselor Yip.
Present.
Counselor Jordan.
I'm here.
Counselor Junkin. I see you, Counselor Junkin. Counselor Kaiser.
Present.
Counselor Morocco.
Present.
Counselor Olson.
Present.
Counselor Redicott.
Here.
Counselor Rigby.
Here.
Counselor Seaborn.
Present.
Counselor Secord.
Present.
Counselor Cisco.
Present.
Counselor Sorrento.
Present.
Counselor Steele.
Here.
Counselor Ugolini.
Present.
Counselor Villela.
Present.
Counselor Whalen.
Present.
Counselor Witteveen.
Present.
Counselor Zalefa.
I'm here. Thank you.
Thank you, Acting Chair.
Thank you. I'd like to call on Councillor Gannan to read the land acknowledgement statement, please.
Thank you, Chair. I can do that. Niagara region is situated on treaty land. This land is steeped in the rich history of the First Nations, such as the Hattaway-Wendouree, the Haudenosaunee, and the Anishinaabe, including the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation. There are many First Nation, Métis, and Inuit from across Turtle Island that live and work in Niagara today. The regional municipality of Niagara stands with all Indigenous peoples, past and present, in promoting the wise stewardship of the lands on which we live.
Thank you. If you're able, please stand for the national anthem, please. I have a delegation request from a Mackenzie Keys received after the deadline and will require 2/3 majority to be permitted. Is there a mover and a seconder? Mover is Van Spadaway and seconder is Sal Sorrento. Any discussion, any questions? Please vote electronically. It looks like it was accepted. Are there any other additions to the agenda? Go ahead, Councillor Morocco.
Yes, Chair. I'd like to please have added under the adoption of the agenda, if we could actually add some, in the closed session, QP 911 negotiations to the agenda under closed. If I need is that a motion? Okay, and I have a seconder.
I need a seconder.
Councillor Bateman?
I'm happy to second, Chair. Thank you.
I'll call for a vote, and do we need a 50%, 51%?
Yeah, just simple majority.
Simple majority, please vote. So it looks like that's been added to the agenda for later on this evening.
Thank you.
Are there any disclosures of pecuniary interest tonight?
No, hang on, no.
Oh, wait,
Not
I'm
done
sorry,
yet.
I'm not done yet.
Any other additions?
Oh, any other addition, sorry. I'm jumping the gun because we're gonna have a long evening. Any changes to the order of the agenda? Seeing none, please vote
To adopt the
to adopt the agenda, please. As amended? Thank you, that's passed. Are there any disclosures of pecuniary interest? Councilor Morocco.
I guess I'm on a roll tonight. Chair, I have a conflict with CL-C 27-2026 and closed minute item 15.2.3 CSD 38-2026. My company destination Niagara Falls and Magazine market their properties.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Noted. Chair's report. I think I'll be short. Before I begin my report, I'd like to acknowledge the recent flooding that affected communities across Niagara. Like many residents, my own home was experienced. So I'm showing some emotion, but I shouldn't be. I can understand how stressed people were at the event. If you can understand that a devastation would be a fire, hurricane, this is an inconvenience. Sorry, I'm choking up a little bit. The volume of water exceeded that amount that our systems designed to handle. I want to reassure the residents of Niagara region, infrastructure performed as intended throughout the event and continues to operate as designed. Our focus now is on recovery. The region's working closely with the local municipalities to provide enhanced waste collection in affected neighborhoods, connecting residents with additional support, and assisting with the assistance of our municipal partners as cleanup efforts continue. We'll continue standing alongside our communities in days and weeks ahead. I'll conclude my remarks with some good news. I'm pleased to announce that I attended an announcement, the start of the construction of the new Grimsby GO station. This is a major milestone for Niagara that will improve connectivity, support economic growth, and create new opportunities across our region. During that announcement, they suggested it would be up and running by year end, which is good news. I'd like to also extend my thanks to staff for working so hard behind the scenes over the years to make this project a reality. I know that some of us have been seeing this for about 10 years, 12 years, so it is a good news story. I'd like to thank the councilors who represented me, Councilor Kiokio, and today Councilor Encina for filling in for me. And last but not least, thanks to staff for their guidance and support as I was acting chair, and that's over with tomorrow, thank goodness. I can tell you that there were probably 20 meetings in that month. Anyway. So we have a number of delegates tonight. We'll be taking questions after hearing from all of the delegations on each matter, and the delegates have a 5-minute time limit, and The first delegate, Adrian Natopoulos, could you come forward, please? And is dealing with 7.1 in the agenda.
Good evening, Chair and members of Council. Thank you for hearing me today. My name is Adrian Nisopoulos, and I'm here on behalf of the Nisopoulos family, who last year marked 50 years in business in Niagara here. In the same 50 years, there has not been one new hotel built in St. Catharines. We'd like to build the next one, a 9-story, 88-room hotel, Home 2 Suites by Hilton, beside our existing Hampton Inn. Building it means paying about $1.3 million in regional development charges up front before a shovel hits the ground. That's between 8 to 10% of our expected construction cost, due at the exact moment the project carries the most risk and the least amount of cash. Let me be clear, we are not asking you to waive the money. We are willing to pay every dollar. We're asking for time, and asking for that time not to carry any interest penalty. Specifically, an interest-free deferral on of a regional development charge paid in installments, say at the third of at occupancy, a third at next year, and a third at the year after, under an agreement pursuant to Section 27 of the Development Charges Act. And you have the authority to grant it. Section 27 lets the region agree with any person who owes a development charge to be paid later. And here's the key point. The Act's interest provision does not apply when there's a Section 27 agreement. So interest isn't something the province requires you to charge. It's a term you negotiate. The Bank of Canada rate is your own deferral policy, is a choice the region made. What council set, council can change. And you give up no security in doing it. Unpaid charges are still recoverable as taxes. We'll register an agreement on title and post a letter of credit for the full amount. Nothing changes but the timing and the interest. The province is already doing exactly this. Under Bill 17, development charges are deferred to occupancy with no interest for housing. A hotel is commercial and we're left out. The same deferral on the same timeline is interest-free for a housing project and interest-bearing for ours. We're asking you to close that gap with the discretion you already have. And this is in your own strategy. The province's Destination Niagara plan targets 25 million visitors a year and $3 billion in new GDP to this region. Those visitors need rooms, and St. Catharines hasn't added a hotel in a half a century. We're the private capital willing to build it. And it isn't only the province. Your own 10-year economic development strategy names tourism as a strategic sector and commits the region to funding it. And it says, in your own words, that development charges deferrals give Niagara a competitive business climate. We're asking you to use the tools your own plan already endorses. One short protective term. If the province later extends an interest-free deferral or removes development charges in total altogether to projects like ours, before our charges are paid, we'd ask that agreement let us receive that benefit. If it costs the region nothing unless that happens. What Niagara gets in return is 50 to 80 construction jobs, about 40 to 60 permanent positions at the new hotel, an estimated $280,000 a year in new property taxes, and another $200,000 in municipal accommodation tax, and the full $1.3 million in DC charges, paid on a schedule that lets the project happen at all. I have here with me, so my request is simple, that this council approve an interest-free deferral agreement for this project under Section 27. I also have 3 letters of support. The Economic Development Team in St. Catharines, the Tourism Partnership of Niagara, and the newly created St. Catharines-Lincoln Destination Partnership, which is self-funded by the municipal accommodation tax that we collect from guests. And I'm not the only one here today on this issue. There's another business delegating to you the very same barrier, development charges. That should tell council something. When 2 investors show up the same evening, describing the same obstacle, the question isn't about our projects. It's about the signal Niagara sends to everyone else deciding whether to build here. Your own strategy asks you to make Niagara a location of choice of investment, and this is a chance to act on it. We've been here for 50 years. We'd like to build for the next 50 years. Thank you, and I'm glad to take any questions after.
Be later after the next delegation. I'd like to ask Mackenzie Keys, please, to come forward.
Thank you. Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Council, for allowing me to present this evening. And thank you, Mayor Easton and Mayor Cisco, who are integral parts of our organization. We're the brand new St. Catharines Lincoln Destination Partnership, and I'm Mackenzie Keese, the brand new Executive Director of that organization. So you might not have heard of us yet. So I just want to give a brief introduction as to who we are. We're a joint DMO, Destination Marketing Organization. We cover the town of Lincoln and the city of St. Catharines. We are funded through the municipal accommodation tax. Our board was established in January of 2026, and we're leveraging the resources of both municipalities to grow our opportunity for impact and share the story of the wealth of tourism amenities that are available in this combined destination, including culinary, craft beverage, agritourism, arts and culture, natural landscapes, outdoor experiences, and our accommodation amenities. Our purpose is to create destination awareness, drive visitor growth, increase the economic impact of tourism, and foster sustainable and responsible tourism growth. Now, Adrian mentioned that we had written a letter of support for the hotel project that they are looking to construct. And I just wanted to briefly give you some reasons why we as a new tourism organization wanted to write this letter and support this project. Just briefly, the tourism sector, there's 13 million annual visitors to this region every year, plan to grow to 25 million. It's a $3 billion tourism industry, approximately 40,000 tourism jobs, and over $1 billion in annual wages. Now, every layer of government strategy speaks to strengthening and enhancing the tourism economy in the Niagara region. And accommodation supply for visitors plays a very key role in supporting this strategic growth in the tourism sector. Destination Canada's Destination Marketing Organization, their roadmap is to grow tourism to a $160 billion industry by 2030. The province of Ontario, as you're well aware, is looking to double the number of visitors to the region and double the average length of stay. The region of Niagara recognizes that accommodation and food service is the number one sector by total jobs in this region. And the number one Niagara economic development strategy is to grow the economy through business attraction in sectors where Niagara has a competitive advantage. So with all that, I just wanted to briefly speak to the value of overnight stays and why we like hotels so much. Overnight stays are the multiplier effect for tourism. They help to grow and enhance, helping to grow and enhance our accommodation supply further allows economic benefits from tourism to be realized. The Niagara Region Economic Development Report of 2025 found that same-day visitors to this region spend $135. Now, the average overnight visitor spends $460. So, with that strategic context I spoke to, which supports that significant increase in visitation to this region, our goal really should be to help as many of those visitors as possible to stay overnight, because if they do, they will spend over 3 times as much in this region. The last point I want to make is on MAT taxation. Overnight visitors generate municipal accommodation tax revenue. Those revenues are what fund organizations like ours, organizations that in turn directly reinvest those funds into tourism marketing, attraction, and destination development activities to continue to support tourism growth. So to close, I just wanted to say an increase in accommodation supply is an important part of all efforts to strengthen and expand the economic benefits of tourism in the region. And the St. Catharines Lincoln Destination Partnership is very pleased to support this project and recognize it as a key investment in the region's tourism economy. Thank you.
Thank you for your presentation and good luck with the new venture. Are there any questions to either of the delegates tonight? Councillor Kaiser, please.
Thank you. Could I ask a question of Mr. Keast?
It's either one.
Oh, sorry,
For either one of the presenters?
Mr. Keast.
Okay.
Yes.
They'll both come up. Thank you.
Okay. It has more to do with his organization than the other delegates, so.
Oh, cool, great.
Hi, how are you? Thanks for coming. And I mean, for anyone that knows me, I have a strong tourism background. I've been on many organizations and I've, small business owner, understand how difficult development investments can be. But I guess my question is as a tourism organization coming here and requesting relief for development fees, I just kind of don't understand that because I guess my question would be, should we expect you here on a regular basis to ask for development relief? Because I like to be kind of fair to all businesses. So I'm just a little confused by, your delegation in support of one particular business owner versus, and nothing about the business owner. It's just theoretically or philosophically speaking, I just wanted to get an idea of that.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that, Councillor Kaiser, and nice to meet you. Yeah, we are a brand new organization, and look, I'm not coming here necessarily speaking in support of development charges or anything like that. All I am coming here is speaking on behalf of that letter that we did write in support of the project, and speaking on behalf of tourism, the tourism sector, the benefits that sector brings to the economy, and the benefits that accommodation supply brings to the economy. So yes, I don't mean to speak on or come here and say I'm going to come here every time. But yeah, I did want to recognize as a new organization to show that, hey, tourism is very important, and we wanted to show our support.
Chair, and that's fair. And I maybe being a little facetious in the sense of just trying to flag, what we deal with here at the region in terms of fairness. So I just was curious, sort of your decision, sort of as an organization to come. So I really appreciate the insight. Thank you so much.
Of course, thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Kaiser. Councillor Villela, please. To either of the speakers.
Yep, thank you. Through you, Mr. Chair, to Mr. Nitsopoulos. Adrian. I have a couple questions. Thank you for your presentation. I'm sure most people read the little bit that you sent in, but I think it's so important. I too have a very strong background in tourism. I understand the impact, the economic impact that it has, jobs, tourism. It's extremely important in our area. So I strongly want to suggest that we take this very seriously. So my first question to you is that you mentioned about the approximately $480,000 in annual tax and the MAT, which is, I guess, where this gentleman comes in. How did you come to that calculation?
Through the chair. So on average, a hotel room contributes about $3,000 each room to the municipal or to the property tax system. So I took that estimate, it's an average, and times it by the room numbers. And so on an annual basis, that's how I got to that number. So that's a number that actually you can ask a few people that it's a pretty standard average ballpark number.
Okay. So through you, Mr. Chair, beyond the hotel itself, what impact do you expect it to have on local wineries, for example, and restaurants and retail?
Through the chair, so it's significant. We're providing a missing piece in inventory in Niagara, which is a long-term stay style hotel. And so again, for that longer stay version, they spend more, so they'll visit wineries, they'll visit restaurants, retail, you name it. And the longer the stay, the more regions they visit. So they won't just stay in St. Catharines or Niagara Lake, Welland, it's people are looking for the whole Niagara.
So these are all basic questions that I'm sure everybody is expecting. Well, what makes you different or what makes this stand out? So my last question with regards to just the basic is construction jobs and permanent jobs. You mentioned 15 permanent
Yep.
and 25
Uh,
part-time?
Yes, yeah, that's approximate, again, based on the business as we build up the business. It does take a hotel 3 to 5 years to balance and to get stable. So as we grow, as we get that business coming in, then, obviously more jobs will be available.
Okay, one last question to you, Mr. Chair. You mentioned the third. So you're not, to be clear to council, the request doesn't reduce the amount that you're obliged to pay, but only when it's paid. Is that correct?
Through the chair, yes, you're correct.
So maybe help myself and the rest of council to understand why a hotel faces a similar cash flow problem, I guess, or challenge in comparison to residential and institutional. What would make you less subject to challenges?
Through the
Or
chair.
more?
So a hotel is very capital intensive investment. Unlike housing and institutional, we don't see a dollar till we open our doors. Housing, you receive deposits from your people who purchase places. So, we have to upfront pay for everything until we open our doors to start
100%.
collecting, make that return on investment.
Okay, and I think you hit on the point of Section 27, I guess, that we have that discretion to look at cases on a one-by-one basis. Okay, thank you for your time. Appreciate it. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Councillor Valla. Councillor Bateman, please. Go ahead.
Thank you, Chair. My question was about fairness too. So if I could talk to Mr. Nestopoulos, please. Thank you, Chair. And through you, I've been a patron of your establishment, and I love going there. So thank you for that. So my question to you is based on, and I think, if I may say, Chair, I think it is a fair ask. But my question, I guess, most importantly, would be: have you looked at other ways to fund this, being a partnership with another business owner or something like that? And Mr. Nestopoulos, the reason I'm asking is because this isn't my money that I would be voting on. This is a shared money between all of our neighbors and friends throughout our city, and we have many competing priorities. So.
Through the chair, so Section 27 agreements are project specific and discretionary by design. That is the point of requiring an agreement rather than a blanket exemption. This is the first hotel in 50 years in St. Catharines that we're trying to, and the province is actually trying to grow tourism in our region. We explored options with other businesses. We have talked to a few before in the past, and we've entertained it. It's obviously a business decision.
Okay, no more questions. Thank you, Chair. Thank you for coming.
Thank you. Councillor Jordan, please.
Thank you, Chair. Through you to Mr. Keith. I just want to congratulate you on your initiative with St. Catharines and Lincoln on tourism. I just wonder, I know you're just in the preliminary stages, but I wonder if you've taken into any consideration to partner with the Welcome Center in Grimsby. After all, Grimsby is the gateway to Niagara, and I'm sure that we'd be interested in having someone else have some presence there. I know the region does. It's just something that we've, as a council in Grimsby, are really trying to push. And I think we are all one in Niagara region, and we are the gateway. So I think it is a pretty good place to start. So.
Thank you, Councillor Jordan. I appreciate that. Nice to meet you. Yeah, we are brand new. Our board was formed back in January. I'm 3 weeks into the job, but Yes, absolutely. I'm so pleased to have so many wonderful colleagues in this industry around the region, and we are very excited to be an organization that is already breaking down those barriers between borders when it comes to destination marketing. And I think it serves the entire region to be more collaborative and supportive as we seek to grow visitation to this region and capitalize on that opportunity. So absolutely, Councillor, thank you.
Interesting way to ask a question, Councillor Jordan. We should be asking questions regarding the delegation. I can understand the plug for Grimsby. Councillor Olson, please.
I was wondering, the numbers, the last time I heard numbers on tourism was 10 million visitors. And we were trying to get to 25 million visitors. Are those valid numbers in your opinion?
Which,
Yeah. I'm sorry, Chair. Yes.
Yes, thank you, and it's Councillor Olson.
Olson, yeah.
Nice to meet you, Councillor Olson, and thank you for your question. Yes, I'm citing numbers that are now commonly reported through various economic development strategic plans, as well as the province's own Destination Niagara plan that is citing approximately 13 million annual visitors, and a plan to grow that to 25 million.
Yes, thank you, Chair. Just comment, I don't doubt your numbers because I think I'm just surprised at the growth in this. How fast is this industry growing every year, tourism?
That I can't directly answer. There's the challenge in the numbers right now is there was a significant change during COVID. So there was a bit of an odd blip there. So there is still a lot of lag in reporting. So I can't directly answer that question. I don't want to speak out of turn to incorrectly answer that for you.
Thank you. Through you, Chair. Going back to COVID, there's a lot of industries that still haven't recovered from COVID, and there's a lot of them. There were some that came back in faster than others, let's say. And one of them was agriculture. How did the tourism industry manage after COVID? Did it recover as fast as everybody else, or has it recovered fully?
Yeah, thank you, Councillor Olson. Again, I don't want to incorrectly cite any numbers because there is a lot of differentiation in those numbers. And as you look at various sectors of the tourism economy, they do vary. But I would say that tourism is strong, and there is a direct strategic directive now to grow that sector. So the plan and the directive is to see that grow.
Okay. Thank you, Chair.
thank you. Councillor Rigby. Questions to the delegates.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and I'd like, Adrian, I'd like to apologize to you on your phone call. He had left, he was leaving a message at my home, and somebody told me that my phone was making some noises, so I picked it up and we started talking. And I was talking about one job, and he was talking about another job. So I'm pleased to meet you finally, and I'm pleased that you brought at least two of well, they're not grandfathers yet, are they?
Uncle.
Yes,
Uncle.
they are. Anyway, it's good
Uncle
to
and
see
father.
them as well. And I just want to say to our members, I think the proposal of the breakdown of how they see they can be able to pay for the funds as it go forward, I think is quite reasonable, and we can certainly, I hope we can certainly support that as you go along, and if not, the younger grandfather, he probably can help. Thank you very much for doing that.
Thanks, Councilor Eby. Councilor Sorrento. If we can get a question that is appropriate, it would be nice.
Yep, thank you, Chair, through you to Mr. Nitzopoulos. Just 2 questions, Chair. How long will the build take? And will you be using local tradespeople and local construction companies here in Niagara?
Through the chair, our expectation is about 16 to 18 months of construction. Obviously, we have a lot of relationships with local trades in the community, and our intentions are always to support local trades. So we'll definitely do our best to support the local economy.
That's great. Chair, one final question
Go
through
right
you,
ahead.
Chair, to Mr. Nitzopoulos. And when do you expect to break ground?
Hopefully soon, if everything goes well.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much. Now regarding, thank you, I don't see any, Councilor Cisco, sorry.
Thank you, Chair, and through you to Mr. Nitzopoulos. Destination Niagara has been referenced a couple times in the provincial strategy. I'm wondering if you could sort of talk about the alignment of what you're trying to accomplish and the Destination Niagara strategy.
Sorry, through the chair, you want me to comment on the Destination Niagara?
No, the alignment between what you're asking for this evening and the Destination Niagara strategy.
Through the chair, so Destination Niagara, obviously to grow tourism visits to 25 million a year requires accommodations. We can't just do that with the day visitors. We need the infrastructure. We need the attractions. We need it's all together. It's combined with the wineries. It's combined with the restaurants. It's combined with the attractions we have, the green space, the parks, you name it. It's all combined together to create a destination that the world wants to visit. So yes, I think we just help fill that gap. We're one portion of that piece that, and we also, when you see a hotel go up, business community sees that as an opportunity, and it shows prosperity in the region. So, other businesses will thrive based on the hotel being built.
And would it be fair to say that with respect to Destination Niagara, I mean, there's been a lot of fanfare over the last year, a lot of work done at the provincial level. In your estimation, would it be fair to say that when the province is bringing forward something like the Destination Niagara strategy, part of the goal is to spur private development in the tourism sector, not just spend public dollars?
Through the chair, yes, absolutely.
And so, I guess leading from that, would it be fair to say that your company's decision to look at an expansion of this was related to the moves that the province of Ontario is making?
Through the chair, yes, absolutely. When we saw that announcement come out, we were definitely optimistic with what the future holds in Niagara, and we're interested in investing again based on that news.
Well, it seems like making this choice would be a small way for this council to be able to support what you're trying to accomplish. I know this needs to be a question, so I will just say, wouldn't you agree?
Through the chair, yes, of course.
Thank you. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you for the question. Councilor Easton, a creative question.
Thank you, Adrian, for your presentation. So while we're connecting the dots, let's connect the dot to the next generation, because that's a very important dynamic that's happening in many sectors, certainly happening in agriculture. So would you speak a little bit about that? Because I think your family's a little bit unique, but I could be wrong. Maybe you could just address that a bit, because encouraging that sort of future for your generation is also an important component of this.
Through the chair, yes. So I am second generation, actually third generation. My grandfather and my dad and his uncle and my uncles came to Canada, and they were shoeshine boys in Toronto, Danforth, and they had a cousin that saw an opportunity in the Penn Center, and they came down here in the 70s and opened up a restaurant. And so hard work is what I've learned. And, you have to work hard and hopefully the dominoes fall together. And we were able to stay together for 50 years. And, second generation now, myself and 3 others have taken on the role of leadership. And so we want to continue that legacy.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Councillor Easton. Councillor Secord.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Nitzopoulos, you came to Corporate Services and did a presentation, and there was one thing there that you didn't mention tonight. And I'm just looking at the numbers you first talked about. You talked about that the development charges are almost 8 to 10% of your construction costs. So we're talking about, and you also said $1.3 million. So we're talking about a $10 to $15 million project here. But I think you need to explain to make sure our other councillors understand that this money that you have to put forward and put on the desk of the at the region is not money that you can borrow. This is cash money. I think you said that the company would have to come up with ahead of your any borrowing that you do, which would obviously put a damper on any changes to construction that came along because you no longer have that cash in hand. Could you explain that a little bit? Or am I explaining it right, I guess? Is that correct?
Through the chair. Yes, so obviously these are expenses that are not funded by the bank. And so, yes, these are costs that you have to come up with and in your cash flow.
And in that vein, would you agree with me that the region at this point has all of the infrastructure in place around where this building is going to be for the time being, and it's really not costing us anything to wait for the money until you get the project complete and the room starting to be rented? Would you agree with that?
Through the chair. Yes, we're infilling existing infrastructure, existing land that we already developed. We're proposing to remove a fitness center and replace it with the tower. And we've done the studies with the water flow and sewer and sanitation, and the impact is nil to the infrastructure existing on our property and down the line.
Thank you for that. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you very much, and thank you to the 2 delegates. We'll be dealing with this later on tonight, and we'll be, I'm assuming, going in camera as well later on this evening. So thank you very much. We're now on 7.2, development charge consideration for the Canadian Metal Buildings Company. And the first delegate is Mr. Braziz, please. Lucas Braziz.
Good evening, Chair, members of council, and regional staff. My name is Lucas Braziz, and I'm the Chief Operating Officer at Canadian Metal Buildings. On July the 15th, we delegated to Corporate Service Committee regarding the Industrial Use Development Charge Grant Program and its impact on our 100,000 square foot corporate headquarters and manufacturing facility at 460 River Road in Welland. I want to thank committee and council. On July 15th, you moved unanimously to direct staff to bring forward a recommendation to approve our application, and we are grateful, and we're here tonight to respectfully ask council to confirm that direction. Canadian Metal Buildings has been building manufacturing capacity since 1964, and our purpose is simple. It's building better buildings and building better lives, and that includes and that philosophy extends beyond our employees. It includes investing in communities where people can build their careers, raise their families, and contribute to the long-term economic growth of the region. This project didn't automatically belong in Niagara. Over a multi-year site selection process, we evaluated numerous municipalities, and Welland became our preferred location. I want to be clear, through this 3-year process, the Welland staff were extremely supportive,
And based on the information provided to us, we understood that our project qualified both under the Industrial Development Charge Grant Program as well as the Gateway CIP program. At every stage, we moved forward, believing these incentives would always be available to us. And that confidence is what influenced us to purchase the land and proceed with our design. This project represents far more than constructing another industrial building. This project is an $11 million investment with more than 100 new full-time jobs with a pathway forward to 200 full-time jobs. It allows us to consolidate our operations spread across multiple facilities, and it strengthens our ability to compete internationally. It represents the future headquarters of CMB and a new advanced manufacturing facility in Welland. Most importantly, this investment creates long-term manufacturing jobs in the Niagara region. And when complete, our employees will buy homes, support local businesses, volunteer in the community, and raise families right here in Niagara. Every year, Brock University Niagara College graduate outstanding students. And far too often, they leave Niagara because they can't find the careers they are looking for because they exist elsewhere. We want to hire them here. As we grow, we expect to recruit graduates from Niagara's post-secondary institutions. Now I want to walk you through some dates because they tell the story. And on February 12th, Council set the Industrial Development Charge Grant Program at $1 million annual cap, up to 100% per applicant, first come, first serve. Council acknowledged on the record that its reserves was the mechanism available if the annual budget were exhausted mid-year, and that left the option open. Council was clear, any applicants that the region should receive after the approved funding was exhausted should be brought to Regional Council for review and approval. What was not disclosed that day was that the deferrals entered into 2025 had already been committed to the entire 2026 envelope. On March 31st, we applied. On April 22nd, staff confirmed in writing that our project would otherwise qualify, but the entire $1 million budget had already been committed by prior deferrals, so no 2026 funding was available. By then, we had already expanded our project from 85,000 square feet to 100,000 square feet, giving up our former facilities and purchasing the land with the City of Welland. We are asking Council to exercise the option it preserved in February for exactly this situation, a qualified applicant arriving after the budget was exhausted. We appreciate that at Corporate Services Committee, a decision was made to direct staff to bring a report to Regional Council providing recommendations for Council to review and approve. Like any investment, the question shouldn't be, what does this cost? The more important question is, what is the return? Niagara receives an increased industrial assessment, long-term municipal property tax revenue, construction activity that will support local contractors and tradespeople as well as suppliers, and new spending in the local economy by employees and their families. Viewed through that lens, this is an investment in Niagara's long-term economic future. Economic development incentives are successful when they leverage significantly greater private sector investment than the public contribution itself. And we believe this project is exactly that kind of opportunity. 3 years ago, we had choices. We chose Welland, we chose Niagara, and we're not asking for Niagara to invest in our past. We're asking Niagara to invest in a future that we're choosing to build right here. A future that retains Niagara graduates, a future that strengthens advanced manufacturing, and a future that expands the tax base that creates opportunity for generations to come. We respectfully ask, just wrapping up right now. We respectfully ask Council to approve this application so we can get shovels in the ground, create these careers, and begin the next chapter for Canadian Metal Buildings. Thank you.
Thank you. Next delegate, Jordan Sherlock. Please. There is a 5-minute limit here for tonight.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Good evening, members of council and regional staff. My name is Jordan Sherlock, and I have the privilege of serving as Executive Director of the Niagara Industrial Association. The NIA represents nearly 300 members, the majority of whom are manufacturers and industrial suppliers. Together, they employ thousands of people and invest hundreds of millions of dollars into Niagara's economy. One of our primary roles is to help companies invest, expand, and grow in Niagara. We work quite closely with regional staff, local municipalities, and other community partners to promote Niagara as a competitive place to do business. These relationships are built on trust. Trust that the information we provide to prospective investors is accurate. trust that incentive programs are administered consistently, and trust that when companies make multi-million-dollar investment decisions based on these programs, they can do so with confidence, mitigating risk rather than creating it. Today, that trust has been challenged. While this delegation is certainly about Canadian metal buildings and their application to the industrial use RDC grant, it is equally about the credibility of Niagara's economic development system and the treatment of investing businesses. CMB is exactly the type of company we should be supporting. They are a Canadian manufacturer creating skilled jobs, investing in innovation, and choosing to expand their operations right here in Niagara. In my opinion, we should be rolling out the red carpet. The City of Welland and the NIA have worked alongside CMB for years as they evaluated sites and prepared for this expansion. Throughout that process, the industrial use RDC grant formed a large part of Niagara's value proposition. It was one of the competitive advantages we confidently promoted. Today, that confidence has been shaken. Respectfully, manufacturers do not typically have expertise in navigating municipal bureaucracy. Instead of focusing on construction, hiring employees, and growing their business, CMB has been forced to spend valuable time and money navigating uncertainty, retaining legal counsel and consultants, and trying to understand why the expectations established throughout their investment process have been blurred. This uncertainty extends well beyond one company. Following the February Budget Review Committee of the Whole meeting, the NIA left with what was believed to be a clear understanding of how the 2026 Industrial Use RDC grant would operate. At that time, our understanding was that Council had allocated $1 million to the program for 2026, that no applications had yet been received, and that once those funds were committed, estimated roughly at mid-year, any additional qualifying applications would return to Council for consideration. That appeared to establish a fair pathway that we were in support of, and it gave those of us working directly with these businesses confidence that we could communicate how the program would function in 2026. The outcome in this case, however, suggests something different, as CMB was encouraged to apply to the program when in reality allocation room was unavailable. Whether that disconnect resulted from policy interpretation, administration, or communication is almost secondary. The important point is that the organizations responsible for attracting investment understood the program state one way, while the outcome reflects something entirely different. This has now become an investment barrier for CMB. The NIA relies on these programs as part of our toolkit. So do our municipal economic development offices, and if we cannot confidently explain how incentive programs work in real time, they lose much of their value and instead become a risk. We're also struggling to understand why alternative solutions were not presented to CMB to get them to their original expectation of zero DCs. To our knowledge, not all options have been properly extended to CMB despite their clear economic benefits, the clear economic benefits this project will deliver to Niagara. For example, from our understanding, in 2025, the region demonstrated flexibility by providing development charge deferrals to one or several firms to encourage industrial projects to proceed. Those mechanisms appear to have been available when circumstances warranted. CMB has also applied for DC relief under the Gateway CIP program, but apparently cannot be confirmed until the project completion. From our perspective, this inconsistency only adds to the confusion. I will enter our request today in support of the delegation you just heard from CMB. First, we respectfully ask Council to provide additional industrial use RDC grant funding to carve a path forward that provides CMB with the full development charge relief they reasonably believed would be available to them. Second, we ask Council to direct staff to review the administration, communication, and interpretation of all industrial DC incentive mechanisms to ensure that stakeholders have clear, consistent, and predictable information regarding eligibility, funding availability, timelines, and all available options. Economic development is a partnership. Businesses invest capital. Municipalities invest in infrastructure. Organizations like ours invest years building relationships to help support opportunities by acting as a welcoming resource for industrial residents. When these elements work together, Niagara succeeds. If Niagara truly wants to be known as a region that is open for business, then our process must be every bit as reliable as our message. Manufacturing remains one of Niagara's strongest economic drivers, and today's investment decisions will determine where tomorrow's jobs are created.
Mr. Sherlock, you're at over 5 minutes.
10 seconds, please, sir, if that's okay, Mr. Chair. Thank you. On behalf of the Niagara Industrial Association, I respectfully ask Council to support the option to provide additional industrial use grant funding to CMB and to use this experience as an opportunity to strengthen one of our most important economic development tools. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your presentation. Now I would like to ask Lena DeCellis, please, to come forward. City Welland.
Good evening, Chair, Regional Council, and Regional Staff. My name is Lena DeCellis. I'm the Director of Economic Development for the City of Welland. Joining me today are my team members from the City of Welland and also my colleagues from the local area economic development departments. I appreciate the opportunity to speak regarding industrial use regional development charge program and its impact on the proposed Canadian Metal Buildings investment at 460 River Road in Welland. The city is requesting that Regional Council approve the industrial use regional development charge grant in the amount of $831,000 for proposed development on the property located at 460 River Road, Welland, reducing the RDCs payable to zero, $299,100 to be funded from the RDC grant program, and the remaining $531,900 be funded from the taxpayer relief reserve. The recommendations in report CSD 37/2026 before council tonight do not fully address the core concern raised by CMB, nor do they adequately consider the broader economic development implications associated with this project. The issue is not simply whether CMB qualifies for existing programs. The issue is the significant financial burden that remains at the building permit issuance and the effect this has on investment certainty for a major industrial project that Welland has actively worked to attract. CMB is proposing substantial investment in Welland through the construction of a new 100,000 square foot manufacturing, fabrication, and corporate headquarters facility. This project represents more than a new industrial building. It represents a long-term commitment to Niagara through significant capital investment, job creation, economic diversification, and future assessment growth. The company anticipates creating more than 100 jobs in its initial phase, with employment expected to grow to approximately 200 positions over time. These are precisely the type of projects our municipality and the region collectively seek to attract and support. They strengthen our industrial base, create quality employment opportunities for residents, and contribute to a more resilient local economy. This investment opportunity directly aligns with Niagara Region Council's 2023-2026 strategic priorities, specifically the prosperous region objectives to build Niagara as a global brand and investing in growth of its emerging sectors, and attract and retain business, creates jobs, and supports a skilled workforce in Niagara. The City of Welland has worked closely with CMB over several years to support this investment. Throughout those discussions, regional economic development incentives form part of the broader conversation about locating and expanding in Niagara. Those incentives help demonstrate that Niagara was prepared to partner with industry and support business growth. Our concern today is not simply availability of grant funding. Rather, it is the impact created when expectations established during the investment process change after significant decisions have already been made. On March 16th, the city publicly announced that CMB would be locating in Welland. The following day, the city received correspondence from regional staff indicating that the budget is still near $1 million under the Industrial Use RDC grant program. Based on that information, CMB submitted its application on March 31st. Subsequently, on April 22nd, the company was advised that the entire annual allocation had been exhausted through commitments related to prior year deferrals. This sequence of events has created understandable frustration and uncertainty for the applicant. While regional staff have now successfully identified $299,100 in available funding, CMB is still required to pay approximately $531,900 in regional development charges at building permit issuance. The report CSD 37/2026 acknowledges the concern, but does not ultimately address the issue that has been raised by the company, the timing of the payment and the significant upfront costs associated with moving forward with the project. I also believe there is a broader issue, transparency and predictability, that council should consider. The city recognizes that industrial use RDC grant is discretionary and that council reduced the annual funding allocation as part of the 2026 budget process. We also appreciate the need for responsible fiscal management. However, our understanding during budget deliberation was that if demand exceeded available funding, additional requests could be brought forward to council for consideration. It was not our understanding that commitments for prior years could effectively consume the current year's funding allocation before new applicants had an opportunity to be considered. This matters because economic development decisions are made based on the information available at the time investments are being evaluated. When program availability changes unexpectedly, it creates uncertainty not only for one company but the future investors considering Niagara as a location for growth. Report CSD 37/2026 before councils focuses primarily on policy compliance. While that is an important consideration, the report gives little attention to the economic benefits associated with this project, including the creation of over 100 initial jobs, future expansion to approximately 200 jobs, significant private sector investment, increased. Yep. Council must also consider the message this decision sends to the investment community. If Niagara is committed to being competitive for industrial development, and if we want to demonstrate that we are truly open for business, there must be confidence that our economic development programs are predictable, transparent, and responsive to transformational projects. I'll wrap it up. By considering this request, Regional Council has an opportunity to reinforce investor confidence, strengthen municipal and regional collaboration, and demonstrate Niagara's continued commitment to supporting strategic industrial growth. Thank you for your consideration.
Are there any questions to any of the three delegates, please? If the three delegates could come forward, I'm not sure who they're going to ask, but Councillor Villala, please.
Through you, Mr. Chair, I'm trying to understand the timeline, because that's the most concerning part of all of this for me. And I must say, it's not the first time we've been in a situation like this. So do you know what the fiscal calendar year of that DC grant funding is? Does it run from February to February? Because you had mentioned February was when, February 12th, that whoever spoke to someone regarding the actual grant?
So I believe February 12th was the budget meeting for Regional Council
Okay.
when it was determined that it was going to be reduced to $1 million.
Okay.
And then in March 17th is when an email was sent by regional staff saying that there's nearly $1 million remaining or available in that fund.
That's an extremely important comment. So is it fair to say, maybe staff can answer this, that it runs like from January to January or January to December of every year? Is that
I
so that
believe
$1
it'd
million
be
dollars?
the
So
year.
somewhere between March 16th and March 31st or 17th, I guess, $1 million got eaten up somewhere? Is that what we're seeing here or hearing here?
So my understanding is that CMB received notice on April 22nd that the money was exhausted.
Okay, but on March 16th, this is so important to me. On March 16th, you were told, or whomever was told, who was told? Let's talk about who was told.
That was sent to city staff.
To the city staff from regional staff.
Yes.
From which department? Can you say that, or is that
I
in camera?
prefer,
We'll go in
yeah, I
camera
would
for
prefer
that.
not to. Yeah,
Okay,
I would
that's
prefer
fine.
not to say that. Yeah.
So you did receive a letter that said, "Hey, we got, $1 million."
Yes.
And that was on March 16th. So you, or around that time.
Yeah, 17th. Yeah.
You relay that to Mr. Braziz, and they put in their request for funding.
Yes, they applied.
And
March
nobody answered
31st.
until April 22nd to say, sorry, it's been eaten up. Is that?
That's
am I
my
getting this
understanding,
right?
correct, yeah.
Okay, I just want to make sure that I understand that very clearly. That's all I really need to know. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Are there any other questions to the delegates? Seeing none, thank you for your presentation. Oh, sorry, Councillor Bateman.
Thank you, Chair. Again, this is confusing and upsetting, and obviously we want development to happen, and we support it. But through you, Chair, to the gentleman in the collared shirt. I'm sorry, I don't know your name. You're directly with the beard. Yes, sir. Sorry, could you say your name again? Does everybody have beards there?
Mr. Braziz.
Mr. Braziz, thank you very much.
One beard.
Thank you. So when you apply for grants, you know that they're not guaranteed. Is that correct? Like there's an understanding that grants aren't guaranteed.
Through the chair, that is correct, but we tend to do our due diligence to see if we are eligible for granting.
Okay. And you rely on this money in order to grow your business. This isn't money that will help your bottom line. This is money that you absolutely rely on to grow your business, because we've had other people come here doing things along the Seaway, big things, and they've not That's not to say that you don't deserve it or you're not doing a great job, because it's obvious that you are. You rely on this money, or is this money to help improve your standing in your business?
Through the chair, it's critical for us to grow and to continue to feed the demand that we're receiving, the traction that we're getting with our growth. So if we are unsuccessful, we'll be stunted, and we'll have to make some serious decisions on our path forward and what that looks
Thank
like
you.
for Canadian Metal Buildings.
Thank you. And what would those decisions be? Is it layoffs? Is it moving your plant? Can you describe that to us? Through you, Chair, excuse me.
So through the chair, as you heard, we are currently spread across multiple facilities currently that are leases, and we've given up those contracts. So I mean, we did not renew. We are banking on moving to Welland. But if that is unavailable, or the funding is not available, we're going to have to make some really tough decisions, and perhaps stay where we are, get into some more leases, but really evaluate what the true direction forward would be for us.
Thank you. And Mr. Bruzzese, through you, Chair, could you have held off on these decisions until you knew the grant was solid?
Sorry, can you repeat that?
Could you have held off, through you, Chair, could you have held off on the decisions to move your plant and give up those leases until you were approved for the grant?
Through the chair, I don't think so. I mean, we had to make strategic business moves in order to feed the demand that we were receiving and are receiving in terms of the workload, in order to be sustainable.
Okay. Thank you very much, Chair. Thank you, Mr. Bruzzese.
Thank you. Councillor Campion, please.
Thanks, Chair. My first question is actually for somebody who's standing there that did not present, which is Ken. So he's a consultant. Maybe you can explain who you are when you get up there, Ken. But the question is, there's a process that you go through prior to determining the feasibility of a project in any municipality. And I want to ask specifically about the pre-con. So when you're into pre-con discussions and discussions with our economic development team and our development team, does the concept, or do the CIPs and the incentives become part of that conversation?
Sir, could you identify yourself, since you didn't make a presentation? I'm not sure. I'm going to give you a few minutes, but that's it, because
okay.
you weren't part of the presentation.
No, I am the business development consultant that's been retained by CMB.
Okay.
My name is Ken Schultens, and I feel Mayor Campion's question is very pointed, because I used to be the manager of business development and expedited services here at the Niagara region, and I administered the Gateway CIP program during that time period. And when it does come to a pre-con is part of the planning process, in which it provides municipalities an opportunity to engage with developers, homeowners, landlords, leasers who may be doing any type of improvement within a municipality. Here in Niagara, due to our two-tier nature, and having a regional and local level of economic development, the Gateway CIP program is jointly administered by both the local area municipality and the Niagara region. And so, yes, it was common practice that staff from the Niagara region would attend those pre-con meetings, whether it's at the City of Welland or the Town of Fort Erie, to present those options to companies about how to qualify for the Gateway CIP program, how it's administered, how applications are reviewed and assessed. And that would also extend to the Industrial Development Charge Grant Use Program as well.
So thank you. Just supplementary to that. So all of that information forms part of how this whole project comes together. I would ask Mr. Bruzzese, but I'll ask you first the question regarding that. So there are a whole bunch of issues that come up. Will the building fit on the site? Will all of the things around it? Is it sufficiently serviced? All of these things formulate, is this project going to work or it's not going to work? And so maybe you could just maybe confirm that this is the point where they decide if it can happen or not.
Through the chair, absolutely. These types of development processes do not happen overnight. These investments are not done on the back of a napkin. Generally, this is a 2 to 3 year process. At that pre-con, they are informed of the grants and incentives that are available to them, whether the servicing is in place in terms of water, wastewater that's able to meet the capacity, the location of hydro poles. But one thing that I'd like to sort of bring to this point is that those pre-cons may take place 5 to 6 months before a shovel hits the ground. And the way that the Industrial Development Charge Grant Program is currently administered is that you can only apply within 90 days of building permit issuance or 90 days after building permit issuance. So these companies are doing 18, 24, 36 months of due diligence with not guarantees, but conversations with municipal staff about the availability of incentives. They make those decisions. Those decisions go into their pro formas, their bottom line, and then they decide to invest in that community based on assurances that were provided by staff.
Thank you. So I won't have to ask Mr. Berzese because you've answered that question for him. So I do have a question for Ms. DeChellis, which I'm certainly
Just a
didn't prepare for.
reminder, you have 5 minutes as well.
Okay. Including their answers?
You have 5 minutes for questions.
Okay, that's fine. So I got lots of time. Ms. DeChellis, do you have any idea what the property taxes will be when this is built out? Just, what would be the ultimate tax for in the industrial use there? Not looking at incentives or anything else, just what it would be the actual property taxes when all the incentives are exhausted.
Yes, so through you, Chair, so their annual taxes, the municipal and regional portion would be $476,000.
Great. And so, Mr. Chalice, in your opinion, part of your economic development job is to assist in shifting the tax base away from the resident and onto the industrial sector so that we can lighten the load on. That's part of the strategies that we're using. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Yeah, thank you.
Sorry,
I have no
through you,
further
Chair.
questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Olson, your 5 minutes.
My question is for Mr. Berzese. Yes, sir. When you spoke at the corporate it was what was I forget the committee anyway, Chair.
Corporate Services.
Corporate Services. Okay, okay. We talked about the scope of your company, and I wanted to ask you to reconfirm my understanding of what the scope of your company was. It's Canadian. Do you manufacture for the global market?
Through the chair, we are a pre-engineered metal building manufacturer, and our core market is within Canada. But with everything going on geopolitically, we were dealing into the United States. That has totally stopped with the ongoing tariff situation.
Okay, and through your chair, a second question. My understanding is that this is a head office that you're constructing there. What are the special things that a head office has with them? I know my companies, I always had extra skilled people and designers and things like that.
Yes, through the chair, this will be not only a manufacturing facility, but is going to be our corporate headquarters. So it's going to house all of our internal office staff, project managers, finance division, project coordinators, estimators, engineers, designers, you name it, everything that goes into a metal building or a construction project, those personnel that needs to be involved, they will be located at this facility, or in hopes that they will be located at this facility if this proceeds forward.
Thank you, Chair. And further to that, I think I remember that you employ architects and you make different buildings for different purposes all over, different types of purposes, not just storage or farm storage. You're building manufacturing buildings.
Through the chair, we don't employ architects, we employ engineers. Our company deals with what we call authorized builders. So authorized builders are situated across the nation. They'll be the ones that are typically the general contractors or the developers on the project. They're coming to us, Canadian Metal Buildings, as the building manufacturer. So we're their partner to design, engineer, manufacture, and supply the metal building along with the interior the exterior envelope, roof and walls, and that sort of thing. So not architects, but engineers, designers, that sort of thing that will work with those companies.
Okay. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Councillor. Councillor Morocco, please.
Thank you, Chair. To Lucas, just a quick question there. So this is an existing company? You've been here, or this is new, brand new build? Through the Chair.
Through the chair, this would be a brand new facility at 460 River Road in Welland.
And you said you would be employing 100 staff.
Through the chair, with our projected growth, we employ 83 employees currently, and we are projected within the next 2 years to expand that by 100, and incremental could be up to 200 over the next, I would say, 5 years, 5 to 6 years.
Through the Chair, so they would be living in Welland.
Through the chair, that would be correct if they choose to move their families to the region. We are already getting the sense that our current employees are willing to do so and wanting to do so. So yes.
Okay, through the Chair. So I'm assuming that these are good paying jobs with benefits.
Through the chair, that is correct. Yes, these are highly skilled jobs within our manufacturing plant, but also within our head office, designers, engineers, estimators, project managers, that sort of thing. But within the skilled trades, welders, fitters, that sort of thing.
So it fits the fact that we actually need good paying jobs for people. And that's what your company is looking to offer, and 100 employees so they could buy homes and pay taxes. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Morocco. I would assume they can't force their employees to live in Welland. They can live in Niagara probably. Thank you very much for your presentation.
That's just my point.
We're now on 8.1, the adoption of the minutes. Councillor Seaborn, would you move the motion? Thank you. And Councillor Secord, would you second that?
So moved, Chair.
Thank you very much. Any questions? I'd like to call the questions. Please vote electronically. Thank you, and that passes. And now to correspondence, 9.1, CLC 2526, water wastewater rate review update. Both, sorry. And CLC 26-2026, update on area CAO's discussion on governance and service delivery. Any questions? A mover? Rigby, Councillor Steele seconds it. Thank you. Sorry, I should have looked at my notes. You weren't listed, but thank you very much. I'd like to call a vote, please, electronically. When you're up here, you'll see notes that our clerk are very nice, colored, identifying who we should be asking to make the motion in a second. Thank you. Items for consideration, 10.1, multi-year budgeting framework. Is there a mover for this report? Councillor Witteveen and Councillor Olson seconds that. Any questions or comments, concerns? Seeing none right now, so please vote on that electronically. Thank you, that carries. Now we're on CSD 34-2026, the 2027 budget planning and tentative timetable. The reason that these reports are in front of us, by mandated, we needed to have this come forward before we become lame duck, so that's why it's in front of us tonight. I need a mover and a seconder. Counselor Ugolini moves it and Counselor Morocco seconds that. Any questions or comments, concerns? All in favor if you vote electronically, please. Thank you, that's carried. Now to CSD 37-2026, additional information respecting regional development charge consideration request for the Canadian Metal Building at 460 River Road. I need a mover and a seconder. Sorry, Ganan, Counselor Ganan and Counselor Olson? Any questions, concerns? Counselor Campion, you've got the floor.
Thank you, Chair. So we did ask for staff to come back with this report. It doesn't address one of the issues that was presented in the previous meeting, which was the upfront payment of the amount that's not covered within the RDC, which is a significant amount of money. So it's, I'm wondering, first of all, I guess the question to staff is, through you to staff, is there a way that the Gateway Economic CIP can be utilized, so it's going to be utilized to try to capture the $531,900. That's my understanding. Is that correct? Somebody?
To staff is.
Through Chair Height to Councillor Campion. So the Gateway CIP program, it does allow for granting. However, it would require the development charges to be paid upfront for that program because there is verification required, such as construction value, job confirmation, smart growth design, so architectural treatments of the building and property. So we don't have it within that policy that staff are able to approve a grant for that program upfront. So unfortunately, we could still approve it, but it would have to be paid upfront and then would be verified and paid after the fact once that verification is met after construction is complete.
So, Chair.
Go ahead.
To that, that was one of the issues that was brought up during the meeting, previous meeting, committee meeting, that's an awful lot of money to be putting forward, and I was expecting or hoping that I would get some sort of resolution to that issue with regards to the upfront payment of the $531,900. Having seen that that's not going to happen based on what this motion is, I would like to make an amendment to that through you, Chair.
Go ahead.
I'll read out.
I think you're allowed an amendment if you have a seconder.
Yep, first I'll have to read you what the amendment is so they can determine if they want to second it.
Okay.
So, go ahead.
Go ahead, yeah, go ahead.
Thanks. Okay, so the first paragraph, item number 1 is fine.
Okay.
Up until when we get to reducing it to $531,900 in accordance with the program's approval. So then replacing the second portion of it, I would, or even we could continue on, and the remaining $531,900 be funded from the taxpayer release reserve. So I've seen if there's a second for that, and I'd like to speak to the amendment.
Is there a seconder to that, Councillor Olson? Just a reminder that there is an in-camera report on this as well.
Okay,
but
well, what I'm seeing in front of me right now doesn't address the issue that I have.
Okay.
So I wish to proceed with this because if there is a solution, it should have been somehow included in this particular report. So the reason I would like to move forward with this is because there was some definitely confusion and I think information that was not properly captured. When we're talking about $1 million for the year of 2026 and we're spending it on 2025, that to me does not meet the criteria of what that's all about. So money, in my mind, this $1 million is available for 2026 projects. However, we have expenses from, stuff that we've deferred, so we're going to pay those first. That doesn't make sense to me if, we're looking and following and watching what's supposed to be happening there. There's supposed to be $1 million. It was confirmed there was $1 million, but then, of course, there wasn't $1 million when we got around to actually trying to apply for it. So I think, number one, in fairness, that needs to be replaced. And the only place that I can find it right now is through the gateway or through the tax relief fund. Now, if we go in Cameron, they've got some other brilliant idea that can always be changed when we come out of there, but I'm not convinced that's going to happen. So I would like to move forward with this. If there was a way where you could figure out that when we get into the Gateway CIP and they come up with, yeah, there's the money for it, you're qualified, and just transfer that money back into the taxpayer relief reserve, then that would be fine as well. So I think it's the right thing to do. I don't even want to go into all of the details of why this is a great job, because all of the speakers proved that. So I don't think we have to discuss if it's a great idea or not. It is a great idea, and it's also a reputational issue. We want to continue to have a great reputation as a place for people to build and to create jobs, to support communities. And, this isn't like building houses. This is like building entities within our community that hire people, paid significantly, I hate to tell you this, folks, but significantly more taxes based on industrial rates that we have. So it's important that we move forward with this. I'm hoping that council will see the reasoning why this should happen, and I'll leave it at that, Chair, and go from there.
Are there any other speakers on this?
They have to join the amendment list.
Oh, you need to join the amendment list if you want to be on the bottom right-hand side. Councillor Bateman, go ahead.
Thank you, Chair. So I just want to say that this process was messy and I was frustrated by it. We had people speaking who weren't delegates. I had already spoken, so I couldn't ask them questions. That's a very unorthodox way to do things. And I think, unfortunately, we get ourselves into these positions with grants all the time. I do want clarification from regional staff. And I'm sorry if I'm jumping the gun here, and Councillor Vallely, you have your name up. But on the 17th of March, this group, this business, and the city of Welland were told that there's $1 million available. On the 31st, they applied, and by the 22nd, they were told that $1 million is gone. Is that correct?
Which staff member would like to answer that? Oh, go ahead.
Through the chair to the councillor. So those dates are correct. We did have other industrial use applications come in just immediately before, and there was another application from 2025 that was deferred until 2026 to confirm that they had an industrial use. Because at that time there was no cap, it was not accounted for in 2025, but was the funding was moved to 2026. So that was discovered between those after that March 16th communication. Now that we have the cap, we are ensuring that we're accounting for that funding in the year that the application would be conditionally approved.
Okay.
Thank you. So through you, Chair, that really answers every question I've had. That these grants, and listen, kudos to this business. I think it's extraordinary. I could never do what they're in fact doing. But that's not what this grant is about. As far as I see it, we have grants, we've put a cap on them. We have done that for good reason, as just outlined. They're not guaranteed. Grants aren't guaranteed. And then we're in a position where we're at council and we're hearing from people who aren't on the list, and and it's messy. I want to approve it, but according to what we decided as a group to manage the taxpayer money, that's not what we're doing here. So I'm frustrated. I'm going to see how my colleagues feel about this and wait to hear from them. But I mean, what a frustrating meeting to be a part of. It's just disappointing. Thank you, Chair.
I'm sorry to hear you say that, but Councillor Redekop.
Chair, I'm going to support this. The town of Fort Erie doesn't charge development charges for industrial development, and that's a policy decision. And it's based on the fact that every new manufacturer provides additional assessment to our community. That benefits the community, but it also benefits the region. It provides jobs during the construction of the facility, and it provides jobs, in this case, up to 100 jobs after the facility is completed. Those individuals, some of them will buy homes. That's, if they're new homes, that's more assessment. And the economic spin-offs that come from that, you know, purchase of vehicles, of household goods, of services in the community. So I think it's, you know, many of our residents want to know that there are jobs in our communities. And I think this is a simple way for us to promote that. It will take no time at all for the lost development charge revenues to be recaptured through assessment. And so I'm going to support this. If this doesn't pass, I have an amendment that I'll move to, if this does pass, I have an amendment I want to add.
If it does pass,
If it does pass, I have an amendment I want to add.
you have an amendment as well.
Yeah, if it passes.
Okay. Councillor Zalapa, please.
Thanks, Chair. So just a question of the staff on the amendment and looking for some advice. My mind was going towards an in-year budget amendment rather than identifying which fund to pull it from. I guess I'd like some advice from finance staff. Would there have another recommendation for a reserve fund or other thoughts on how to do this? And I wouldn't mind hearing that. If an interim budget amendment was something that council would consider, because at the end of the day, we set that budget at $1 million. We have the opportunity, it's our budget, so I'd like some advice.
It's our budget till August the 19th, I believe.
That's right, we're still here.
Councillor Ellis, Commissioner Ellis, sorry.
Through the chair, Councillor Zalapa, better get that name right. Really, at this point, we've been thinking about this since it was at corporate services. I think the fundamental question probably staff has more to council to think about is, as you are approving these, is there a cap that you want staff to now adhere to? Because we've gone through the $1 million, essentially. And it seems like it's the will of council now to continue to hear and approve these. I think what we're looking at is the taxpayer relief fund is somewhere around $20 million. And if we continue to hear these, we are going to dip through that fairly quickly. So while the will of council may be to approve this, I think council needs to give some thought to how this rolls out beyond this. And that's, I think, more the salient point at this point. I think council has an opinion on this application right at the moment. So it would come from taxpayer relief.
Okay. Thank you.
Councillor Secord.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I want to build on the good mayor of Fort Erie's comments. I think we need to step back and think about the last 3 years when this company came forward and started investigating expansion and bringing a head office to Welland and amalgamating their manufacturing. This is a company that is operating at a time when, if we step back and we all know what's going on south of the border and the uncertain times, we all know what the tariffs we keep getting threatened with. This is a Canadian company. We're dealing south of the border with the Americans telling us buy American. Here we have a Canadian company, and we have been helpless as a council to really do anything of substance. Now you have a chance to back a company that is selling across Canada that is going to create jobs right in the center of our region. And you have to put everything else aside. When we were at budget time, we were trying to find nickels and dimes to save some money. If anybody had brought up the fact that there was going to be a company in Welland that was going to employ more people and start doing what these folks are about to do, we would not have done that. So I think we have to go down the line of the last two councillors, Lepas, thinking we have to make this happen. Not only that, the mayor of Welland mentioned this is about our reputation. There are things that are going to happen in the next couple of years before the administration south of the border is finished blowing its brains out that we as Canadians need to start to stand up for ourselves. And this is one of those chances that we have, and we can't miss it. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Councillor Ugolini, please.
Through you, Mr. Chair. The thing that bothers me about this, and it was brought up during the delegations by Jordan, and Lucas touched on it also. You know, when people go through the process of planning and they look at where they're heading and they look at the grants available, and then we change the landscape. And I've always been a problem. This has been a problem for me when we were doing brownfield grants. We had businesses expecting a certain playing field was out there, and then we changed the playing field when they were in the middle of doing a development. In this case, I do not think that a company that put an application in 2025 should be using what we budgeted in 2026. That should have been a budget overrun under 2025. And any application prior to us approving the budget shouldn't be included in this $1 million. So that's where I have a problem, and especially the one from 2025. That one should have been included as a budget overrun in that year, not taking money out of this year's budget. And that's the way I think we should be addressing this. This shouldn't be a taxpayer release budget overrun in 2026. What you give for the one that was put in 2025 should have been a budget overrun in that year. And that's the way I look at it, and I support this.
Thank you. Councillor Morocco, please.
Thank you. Thank you, Chair. One of the questions I have, and I have to say I'm going to support it, but I just want to say that, you know, this is a company that's actually going to create jobs. And I actually have to say, we have this amazing economic development team here. For them to actually secure a business in the Niagara region, we probably spend a few $100,000 on them out there traveling the country and trying to deal with other international countries to come here and secure this region as a place to set up a business. And I think we all ran on the fact that we wanted to create jobs. Here's an opportunity to create jobs. Yeah, I'm not willing to look at giving away the taxpayers' dollars by no means, but this is an opportunity to actually have people employed, 100 people, good paying jobs. Because I have to tell you at the end of the day, as co-chair of Public Health and Social Services, we cannot continue to always build low income and affordable homes. We have to have a good tax base. And this is a great opportunity that we're given here to have 100 people with good paying jobs that will be paying taxes. And so will this business be paying taxes. So that's my spiel. I support it. Thank you.
Nice spiel. Councillor Foster, you're next, please.
Yeah, thank you, Chair Height. So first off, I have no problem supporting this, and and it fits actually nicely into my belief on how to use taxpayer relief reserves, and that is for one-time dollar figures that are coming into play. So this meets the criteria. Mr. Chair, do you want any other comments about the overall thing, or should I just wait until we're done with this? Yeah, so I'll wait until the amendment's done here. So anyway, I'm supporting this. Thank you.
Councillor Diodati.
Thank you, Chair. I would just request that we call the vote. I'm very supportive. Thank you.
Do we have to vote on that? Yeah. We need to vote on calling the question. Does he need a seconder? Oh, Councillor Redekop seconding that. This is a vote on calling the question, not on the amendment, not on the motion, just to call the question.
Would everyone like to vote, please? We, ha- well, we had two people that wanted to speak. Please vote. This is to call the question and only that. Yeah. Hold on for a second.
I wasn't able to vote.
Hold on, we're going to have another vote.
Hang on, we're gonna clear it.
We're going to clear it and have another vote because some people didn't like that. No, I'm just kidding. Are we ready to have that vote now?
It's open.
It's open now, please vote. To call the question. It looks like to call the question is carried. So now we are going to vote on the amendment. So if we clear the board, and now to clear the speaker list, please.
We're gonna vote on the amendment.
And we're going to vote on the amendment, but we have to clear the speaker list. Because we're not speaking to it anymore. Now, to vote on the amendment. If the vote's open, please vote. The amendment looks like it's carried, so now we're dealing with the entire new motion with the amendment included. And I can count on Councilor Redekop to let me know if I'm doing anything wrong. And he's looking at me and he has his finger up. We're back to the motion and
So a bunch of people put their names on the wrong list, so do you want us to clear it?
if we clear the list, then we can put your name in to speak to the entire motion because we've had some issues up here. The amended motion is now on the floor. If anyone would like to speak to it, and if you don't, we could vote on it immediately.
No.
Counselor Foster is the first to speak on the amended motion.
Yeah, thank you. And so going back to the original motion, Mr. Chair, so just out of curiosity, with the way that these requests that come in, are we expecting any more this year, or is this the end of it?
I can let you know that after today, we won't be voting on giving money away because I believe we'll be lame duck as of August 19th
22nd.
or 22nd. And at that point, we won't be spending any taxpayers' dollars.
Okay, let me rephrase it, Mr. Chair, and I wasn't aiming that at you. Reality is that is there situations where other applications are coming in to be looked at this year? I'm assuming the answer is no.
I'm looking to staff. If anyone,
Through the chair to the counselor, there were a few other applications, about 2 or 3 that we had received and have either denied or applied after we put the banner to say that the million has been exhausted.
so
Okay, so
you heard that.
yeah, yep. Okay, that's great. So potentially they come on later. I just want to hearken over to Councillor Ugolini's comments, and one of the things that we have to be incredibly careful of and going into the future as well is making sure that everybody talks to everybody. And as part of this review that's going on, and as part of the CAO groups that are getting together, I mean, we have to make sure that the lower tiers and the region are fully in sync with things that are going on. So I'm kind of hoping to see if there's going to be some review of how all of these things tie together. I mean, a bunch of us aren't going to be back as regional councillors, but I really do hope that for the sake of the mayors coming into the position, that there's a good quality conversation and communication going on in those particular areas. So that's my comments. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Councillor Kaiser. Our apologies, you weren't allowed to speak earlier, but now you have 5 minutes.
Oh, great. I may just take those 5 minutes. No, in all seriousness, so I have a question and a comment. I'll be brief. So my discomfort is with taking it from the taxpayer relief reserve and adding more impact onto our taxpayers. And obviously, we've had lots of conversations about these, so I won't belabor you with what I think you know my general opinions are. But I heard from staff that they might qualify for the grant. Sorry?
We can, sorry, go ahead.
It's okay, sorry, I was just distracted, I wasn't
Yeah.
sure. So I heard from staff that it seems that they would qualify for a grant, but that the concern was that it's just that it would not be coming until later, they'd have to pay it up front. So my question would be, rather than taking it from the tax relief, could we not just transfer the funds over from, well, essentially take it from the tax relief, but then cap the existing grant so that we're not sort of procedurally causing any issues? And then there's no impact on the taxpayer, so to speak, because it's already budgeted for.
To our finance people, I think Councillor Campion even made the suggestion about if the money is available next year, putting it back into the taxpayers relief fund.
No, sorry, through you, Chair, not next year. I heard, and maybe I'm heard incorrectly, I heard from staff that they actually do qualify for a grant this year, but that the challenge for them was the fact that they would have to pay it up front and not get it until later. So I'm wondering if we can, as a council, say, hey, you know what? We will take that money out of that grant for this year and then move it over, or just so that there's no impact on the tax relief, but they're still getting the money up front, so to speak.
Our CAO is going to answer that.
Thank you.
Thank you. Through you, Chair. The net effect is the same. This came up in the discussion at Corporate Services. Because that program is paid after the fact, after certain verifications,
I see.
we have the lead time to build that into the budget. So it would be built into future budgets.
Okay.
Same net effect in terms of taxpayer.
Okay. Thank you for explaining that.
Thank you.
Appreciate that.
Councillor Kyokyo, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mine won't be long. I just wanted to commend the people that came here and spoke on in regards to the business in Welland. It's great that we see people starting new businesses in Niagara and especially in Welland. I just seen this as a communication gap, right, which I think moving forward in the future, we've got to be really careful, in communicating with businesses and the region and the cities. I think we just have, or else we're going to be coming back to this all the time. But again, I commend them. I support the motion. I'm pleased with the amendment and the support we had from council on the amendment. I think it just shows that we are open for business here in Niagara. So I want to thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Councillor Redicott.
So Chair, that's not what we're voting on. Because we've done an amendment.
This is the amendment. The motion as amended with the funding coming from the taxpayer relief
Okay,
reserve.
so I wanted to amend that further so that we can at least capture what the other program would have, which is what kind of employment is being created. This obviously isn't a condition, but it would allow us to get some information in that regard. So I would like to amend this paragraph 1, and I've provided this to the clerk, by adding the words, and that the applicant permits staff to monitor employment created for a period of 2 years after completion of construction of the facility, and that staff report the results to council. That way we'll have some understanding of how well this worked out. We're thinking it's going to create a lot of employment, which would justify what we've just done. This would allow us to at least gather some data where otherwise we wouldn't, but other program we would.
Do you have a seconder for your amendment? Councillor Morocco. And my belief is 2 amendments are allowed on the motion, and that's it. Is that correct?
So, no, there's, it's an amendment.
Is that a new rule?
Amendment to amendment, sorry. Okay. So it is allowed. Any speakers other than Councilor Redikoff? Just checking.
Allowed to change the rules as the chair.
I have one more day to do this. Councilor Bateman, go ahead.
Thank you, Chair. Just 2 comments. One, I'm really happy to hear everybody talking about jobs and benefits and good paying jobs. Those are all really important. Those are things we've asked for in a social procurement policy when we're doing business with people. And council has maybe said that 3, maybe 4 times in our debates here. Is there any opportunity to not use the taxpayer relief fund? That is my only qualm.
Tim? I think it was answered, but go ahead, Commissioner.
I thought it was 2, Chair. Yeah, thank you.
Through you, Chair. Councilor Bateman, as I articulated earlier, and maybe you didn't hear me. So when we've looked at alternatives, it's ultimately going to end up on the taxpayer relief fund.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions?
No other.
Oh,
No, thank you, Chair.
okay, thank you. Seeing no further questions,
Sorry,
I'm going to call for a
Chair,
vote.
could I see what that amendment was?
I'm sorry?
Could I see what Councilor Redikoff's amendment was?
Oh, sorry.
Is?
Does anyone else like to speak to the second amendment?
No, Chair, I would consider that to be a friendly.
You are considering that friendly?
Yeah.
Fine.
So that we don't have to vote on an amendment and then vote on the amended motion
No,
again.
wait a second, I'm being told by the clerk.
I don't have a problem
At
with
one day, I was told there are no friendly amendments.
There are none, but I thought I'd try it on you, Chair.
But
Yeah.
So he didn't move the main, like, he didn't move the original motion.
I don't care.
The
We
amendment,
just go ahead and vote on the
Councilor.
amendment.
So now we have to vote on this.
Vote on the amendment and then.
We need to vote on this separately. Sorry,
Okay.
we can't take it friendly, even though it is friendly.
Yep.
Let's
Please,
vote.
go ahead and
Let's
vote, please, on the second amendment.
Yes. You're right. Thank you.
And we have a new list. And that passes. Now we're back to the motion as amended, and I see Councillor Rigby's hand up, but he's not first to speak. Hold on, Councillor Rigby.
Thank you,
Councillor
Mr. Chair.
Reddick.
Can you tell me or point me to where we actually had a vote on whether the Natsopolis president?
That will be coming up next, after we deal with this.
Because all I see is Canadian metal buildings twice.
That's
and
next.
not one of them.
The Hilton will be dealing with next.
Sorry, I'm getting taps by my shoulder, others telling me to shut up.
I hope
And
not.
all I'm trying to do is find out when is that vote going to be taken?
Within the next 5 minutes, we're
Why
going to
was it
discuss it.
last? They were first to speak.
It's just the way it.
It's just the way it ended up on our list.
Mr. Chair,
Are
you're
you-
much better than you are.
Thank you. We are now looking at a list of speakers. Do people want to speak to the new motion on the floor? No? Then we're looking for a vote. Please, everyone vote. The motion as amended twice.
We're voting.
Are we voting? That's
The
what
vote
we're.
is open on the motion as amended. It's gonna be a no.
And it does pass. Thank you very much. We are now moving, Councillor
Sorry, Chair, I was
Rigby.
in favor of
We're
that,
now
so just
dealing, oh, okay. We're now dealing with CSD 38-2026, the development charge deferral request, Home 2 by Hilton, 89 Meadowvale Drive, and that is what the Notopoulos has brought forward. So we're now dealing with that issue. Do I have a mover for that? And it looks like Councillor Cisco and Councillor Ugolini. Councillor Cisco, go
Thank you,
ahead.
Chair. And I would like to amend the motion where it says be denied as the proposed development, et cetera, replace that with be approved. And if I can speak to that.
Please
Chair?
do. Go ahead.
I appreciated Mr. Natsopoulos and Mr. Keast coming and speaking today with respect to this project. We've talked a lot over the last many months, the last year or two, about Destination Niagara and the Destination Niagara program that the province is rolling out, the dollars that are looking to be invested. And the purpose of these government programs is not simply to spend public money, it's to spur private investment. And we're seeing that in St. Catharines, and this project is a perfect example of that. We're looking as a region to see 25 million visitors. We're looking to see $3 billion in additional GDP. But then in St. Catharines, we haven't seen a hotel developed in, I think Mr. Natsopoulos said, 50 years. It's difficult to welcome people to our region if we don't have places for them to stay. This is exactly the type of private investment that the Destination Niagara program is supposed to be spurring on. And this is an opportunity for the region to make a very small change to allow for that to happen. We're not foregoing development charges. There's not a request for a reduction in development charges. It's simply, from a cash flow perspective, changing the timing for those development charges. And the proponents have been very clear. They are quite happy to sign whatever legal agreements they have to indicate they will pay those development charges. They just need a change in the timing. At the end of the day, though, this project is going to be a boon for St. Catharines and for Niagara. It will be positive for the region. It will see construction jobs created. It will see permanent jobs created. It will see significant, in the range of $280,000 in additional property taxes. It will see $200,000 in additional municipal accommodation taxes, all things that can continue to support the Destination Niagara project and the Destination Niagara program. So I would hope my colleagues would be willing to support this amended motion and approve. And just for clarity, with respect to the rest of the clause, everything after be approved can be deleted. I hope that my colleagues will see fit to approve this because I think it is a very small change that we can make that will support a provincial program which is looking to drastically improve the economic conditions here in Niagara. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. We need a seconder for your amendment, and Councillor Steele just put up his hand to second your amendment. Now we're dealing with questions. Councillor Bateman, you're next.
Thank you, Chair. I think the motion requires a little more work. I don't know if the clerk is working on that, but it doesn't quite make sense if we just changed approved to denied. But I will be supporting this. That being said, I know that this opens the door for other people to ask the same of it. I want to be clear that Destination Niagara is not a Niagara initiative. That is a provincial initiative of which we are not funded for. We have 550,000 people approximately in our region, which we are funded for through the province. We welcome 14. They want to double that to 28. The region needs to start funding police, EMS, fire, all those things, all those services, including infrastructure that are being really, really affected by the province and the federal government getting rich off of tourism in Niagara because we are the #1 tourist destination across Niagara. So I want to make that very clear that this is the province's initiative of which we, the municipal taxpayers, are shouldering the costs of. So the province needs to be supportive if we are going to be doing things like this to get them where they want to be. They need to start helping us as well. And I don't see them doing that as evidenced by our DC conversation earlier and the fact that we are underfunded in public health by 16%. The list goes on and on, Chair. But I will be supporting this. Thank you.
If you note, number 2 has lines through it, and I'm not sure if Councillor Siskel was removing number 2, and staff are looking into that as well right now. Are you looking at just dealing with be approved and then number 2 be left in?
Yes, 2 can be left in. Sorry, I was indicating everything left in clause
Thank you.
1 could be removed, Chair.
Good. Now Speaker Ugolini.
Through you, Mr. Chair, I'll be supporting this, and there are a couple of reasons. Number one is that they're going to be paying development charges. They're not asking to be relieved of development charges, and I think that's the key point here. And the second point is the province has already mandated, and we're already doing this on the housing side. So it's not like we're reinventing the wheel here. So it's something that builds on what they're doing on the housing side into this realm where we're creating jobs and moving things forward, so that to me this is a no-brainer, so I'll be supporting it. Thank you.
Next speaker is Councillor Easton.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. You know, not every community has the ability to build hotels. They just may not have all of the components that encourages that kind of a build. And so this relationship that Lincoln and St. Catharines has is one where, you know, we can have short stay accommodations. We have a small hotel. We have another hotel in Jordan that exists because it's part of our value-added proposition, mostly for weddings. But for a hotel of this quality, to have access to that so close, it's very, very desirable. So I think there is a very strong message that's being sent, and that is it's important to have upgraded facilities. It's important to keep what you're doing very fresh. And this is another one of the sidebars that we're going to include here. And it also puts another layer of stamp on high standards when it comes to tourism in total. So I will be supporting. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Easton. Councillor Kaiser, please, next.
Thank you, Acting Chair. So my preference would be that it would be not necessarily interest-free, just because I guess I just wanted to note that, you know, we've had some very difficult discussions over the last 4 years about budgets. But at the end of the day, I will support this, but I just, you know, I really struggle with those impacts on the taxpayers, and I just kind of wanted to go on record as noting that, but I do recognize the importance, 50 years, St. Catharines not having a hotel, and this development for the community, so I'll support it, but I just kind of wanted to get that on record. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Councillor Secord, you're next.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm not usually a stickler, but I'm reading the motion, and it is to be approved for the development interest-free deferral. Deferred till when is my question, because I don't want to take that for granted. Can we have that written in the motion?
Hold on for a second. Do you understand what he's getting?
Yeah, how long is the deferral for? Period, the deferral period?
Counselor Cisco, did you want to answer how long? I thought I'd heard 3 years,
So
something like
as outlined in their
in their
proposal.
presentation?
Yeah, which has been a part of everything throughout, yes.
Okay.
Sorry, that was implied, Chair, and that shouldn't have been. I should have said it specifically.
It's just,
So, can we have that
it's just being,
in writing, Chair?
yeah, as outlined. It's being done right now.
Thank you. You're doing a splendid job, Acting Chair.
Thanks, Counselor Secord. Want to come and help me in my basement, cleaning it up?
I'll send you a text.
Counselor Sorrento.
Thank you, Chair. Just a comment. I think the beauty of our democratic process here is that the applicant and people like the applicant can come to council, make a case for their project. We get to hear it. You know, I've known the applicant for many, many decades. They come to us, and I see this as a partnership, Chair. They're willing to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not in the millions. They're making that investment in our community. I think for me personally, as a counselor, I think I need to kind of reciprocate and say, okay, you know, we're going to get X number of dollars back in new assessment. We're going to have this business that's likely going to be here for, you know, generations to come, another 50 years. And then I believe, I can't remember if it was Councillor Easton that mentioned that, you know, you've got the next generation stepping up now. So I'm in favor of it, and I will be supporting it, Chair. Thank you.
Thank you, Counselor Foster. And I think the investment is upwards of 10 million, not just a million.
That was millions. I thought I said millions, Chair, but all good. Significant.
Counselor Foster.
Yeah, thank you, Chair Height. And so, yeah, I'm going to support this evening as well. And everybody's made some really good points on the whole thing. I do want to ask staff and perhaps Commissioner Ellis in particular, is this going to cause grief from a policy point of view that we got at this point? And if it does, perhaps maybe any policy change might be considered and brought back at our next corporate services meeting to address this. The simple reason is that precedent has a habit of creating other scenarios that come into play. So I'd just like to see where staff will be at from a policy point of view. So thank you.
Through the chair, Councillor Foster, I think you've kind of hit it on the head. Anytime we deviate from the council directive that they originally give us. So if you recall, when we put these policies or procedures together and council approves them, that is the direction that staff is given, and that's how we operate. So when there's a deviation from what council has directed us, we need to go back and assess what that might look like. If it's this council's will, we can go back and look at the policy itself and come back with an amendment, but that probably will come past the lame duck status. So perhaps it's something that when the new council is put together, we can bring forward for them for consideration in alignment with the budget process as well.
Yeah, through you, Chair Height. Yes, that exactly. So put it on that particular list. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Councillor Zalepa, please.
Thank you, Chair. So I'm pleased to hear that. I think that's a bit of a blind spot here. I'm for, you have me with deferral. You have me matching policy with housing, which goes to occupancy. You start to lose me on year 2, year 3. Are we managing cash flow here, or are we? I understand what we're doing, and I agree with all the economic arguments. It's just the deferral's fine to occupancy, and I have a hard time with this one because actually the housing policy goes to occupancy. So like, so anyways, I'm glad to hear that we're gonna have something come forward to consider in the future. But I'd like to see this at occupancy. So that's just my comments, and I'll leave it at that. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Villela, please.
Through you, Mr. Chair. So just to be fair to the concerns that people have regarding precedent, it does raise a reasonable question about precedent. I think that's fair to say. Whether approving this opens the door to every other, commercial applicant asking for the same treatment. But my view on that is that Section 27 agreements are by design case by case. And that's the purpose of this section. So approving this doesn't bind us to approve everything else in the future. It just gives us a real tested example moving forward. So again, Section 27 is case by case basis, and if there was ever a case, this is one of them. So to me, this comes down to, I guess, in terms of a simple trade-off. So a short-term deferral of interest against a long-term self-funding revenue stream. And that's basically what we're facing here now. So most importantly, and I think Mayor Cisco said it, it's a meaningful vote of confidence in St. Catharines and in the region from a private capital aspect. So I am definitely in support of this. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Councillor Ip.
Thank you, through you, Chair. I'm with Councillor Zalepa on some of the concerns that he raised. I also, and I understand the act and so on, I have a concern about the benefit of future legislation cause. So if we vote in favor of this motion, does that obligate us to put into the agreement the benefit of future legislation? My concern being that development charges are due now. We defer this for, a 3-year timeline, and legislation changes, and then those DCs aren't paid at all, if that's, for instance, what that future legislation says. So I'm curious if approving this motion the way it is obligates us to a benefit of future legislation clause.
Commissioner Ellis? Oh, over to legal.
Thank you, Chair, and through you. I think if what I understand the intent of referencing the deferral request is, which is to incorporate all of the requests that were a part of that, I would say yes, because the delegate did ask for that as a part of any agreement. So if council wishes to exclude that as a part of the agreement, I would suggest an amendment might be helpful, or as long as it's clear that that's direction to staff to not include that component of what they asked for.
Councillor Ip, are you looking for an amendment? No.
Yeah, you know what? Actually, I think I am. So if we're gonna defer interest-free and on the timeline that was laid out, then I think that I want to ensure that those DCs are paid. Interest-free is fine. I think that they do need to be paid based on this project being proposed now and the legislation that is currently in place. So I don't know what this amendment looks like, but something excluding that benefit of future legislation clause. I'll allow the clerk to wordsmith that.
Well, we're just working on that.
I'm just saying, for the proposed hotel, like at the end of it, as outlined in their request, just put except.
I mean, I guess it could just say be approved excluding
Except for.
benefit of future legislation.
Okay, that's what she's working on right now.
Clauses, yeah.
You need a seconder for your amendment? Is there a seconder for Councillor Ip's? Councillor Greenwood's just a seconded it.
So on the amendment, does anyone wish to speak to the amendment that has just been added? Counselor Cisco.
Thank you, Chair. Well, I understand where Councillor Yip is coming from. I'll be voting against the amendment. I do think in this situation, given the changing landscape in the province of Ontario, we have seen a lot of changes over the last couple of years. I don't think denying the proponent the possibility that the province may change the rules and that could be to their benefit. I don't think that's fair in this case, so I'll be voting against it.
Okay. Anyone else like to speak on the amendment? We're just going to change some wording and then we'll put it on line for everyone to look at before we vote. So my understanding is that the motion will be to approve, not to deny, that they get the deferral, excluding the issue of any further programs offered by the province. Everyone want to take a look at it before we call a vote? Just to give you a minute. So this is on the amendment, not on the full motion. So the amendment is highlighted. Councillor Sorrento, you wanted to speak to the amendment.
You just answered my question, Chair, and I'm just waiting for the highlight. So if we're just
It's
voting on the
highlighted right
highlight.
now. Save and accept.
Bold it in. Got it? Okay, thank you. Bolded, got it.
Okay.
Thanks.
Okay, I'm going to call the vote on the amendment. We're not dealing with the entire motion, just the amendment right now, the second amendment.
Vote is open.
Vote's open.
It's carried, 15 to 13.
It's carried. It's carried, what's the number?
15 to
15 to 13 is the total. So that,
Oh, hang on.
oh, wait a second.
Yeah, 15 to 13, it's carried.
So the amendment has been carried. Now we'll be dealing with the entire amended motion. And we will please vote electronically now on the newly amended motion. And it is a 19 to 3 vote, yes, in favor of the motion on the floor. Thank you very much. It's carried. Now on the audit committee.
Chair, I have a point of privilege.
Sure, go ahead.
Thank you. I think there's a little bit of confusion about the previous vote with regards to the folks over here regarding the DCs. I think the final vote did not include my amendment to fund the 500 and whatever it is from the taxpayer relief fund.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was.
Well, I have a picture that says it wasn't, and I think I got the.
Okay, we thought it was.
I'm just through, if I could ask the clerk to clarify that.
If you feel uncomfortable, we could vote again.
No, that's okay. I think it would be a clerical error.
We're double checking right now.
This is what the final. Oh, hang on, yeah.
Wait a second.
Yeah, let me just fix it.
I thought they wanted just to stay to see what else was going on tonight. maybe.
I wonder if you could just put it up so the people can see what.
Yeah.
It was just a clerical, picked the wrong slide when I did the final, so.
So that
it
would be corrected in the,
It has been voted on.
That's what you
Correct.
meant to vote on, that was my mistake.
okay.
Yeah, so that's
So,
correct.
so it is, formulates part of the motion, correct?
Correct, yes.
Okay, it just wasn't printed.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, where are we going now?
Audit committee.
Audit committee is on the 11.1, the audit committee minutes. Counselor Wellen and Counselor Rigby.
So
Are you
moved, Mr.
moving
Chair.
it second? Yes, they're moving it second. Anyone like to speak to those minutes? No, please vote now. Yeah, please have a vote. And that passes. We were just dealing with 11.1, which was audit committee. And some people voted no to that, but that's fine. It still passed. So now we're on 11.2, the committee of the whole. Minutes from July the 9th. Counselor Jordan, are you moving it? Perfect. Counselor Sorrento, would you second that? Great. Would anyone like to speak to those minutes? I don't see anybody. Could we call the vote, please? And that is carried. Now we're looking at committee, Public Works, 11.3. Counselor Witteveen, could you move that?
I would, Mr. Chair.
And Counselor Encina has his hand up, he's seconding that. Would anyone like to speak to the minutes of Public Works Committee? And I'm not seeing anybody wanting to speak, so could we call for the vote, please? And it's yes, obviously carried. We are now moving to 11.3, which is Public Works Committee. Minute?
Public health.
Oh, Public Health? No.
Yeah. You just did.
Oh, sorry, Public Health now. Sorry, I didn't turn the page. Public Health, which is 11.4, and that's the committee minutes from Tuesday, July the 14th. Counselor Morocco, please move it, and Counselor, and we need a seconder. Counselor Seaborn seconds that. Thank you very much, Counselor Seaborn. Anyone speak to those minutes? Counselor Bateman, you've got the floor.
Thank you, Chair. I'll be very quick. I just wanted to clarify at the Public Health and Social Services meeting, I said that we hadn't received information on a particular topic, and I said that that was disappointing. I just want to apologize to to Commissioner Koning. I've already spoke to her privately, but I wanted to make a public apology that that we did in fact receive that information. That is on me, and I just thank you for the time to say that.
No, thank you. Does anyone like to speak to those minutes? public health? Seeing none, I'd like to call the vote, please. And that carries. Thank you very much. Oh, Counselor Olson's not at his desk, and could we push the button? It doesn't matter much. It's okay. Thank you. Corporate Services, 11.5 minutes from the Wednesday, July 15th meeting. Counselor Foster, would you move that?
Indeed, sir.
Thank you. And Counselor Whalen, are you the seconder?
So moved, Mr. Chair.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Would anyone like to speak to those minutes that are in front of us or part of the agenda? Seeing none, I'd like to call the vote, please, for Corporate Services. Thank you very much. That is carried. Now we're into looking at 11.6, Planning Economic Development, meeting held on Wednesday, July 15th. The mover, Counselor Seaborn, please, and Counselor Kaiser, could you second that? A good nod, thank you very much. Any questions or comments, concerns? Could we call the vote, please? Tired of, yeah, maybe. Would we like some good news? There is no chief officer's report tonight. I'm sorry. This is carried. Do we have any motions for tonight to be brought forward? Any notice of motion? Oh, I guess notice is motions. No notices? Closed session.
Okay, so we do need to go in on the QP discussion that we added, but does anybody have any questions on this confidential CSD 32? Just need to confirm that.
Okay. In closed session, does anyone have any questions on 32-2026 when we go in closed session? We're going in closed session as requested by Councillor Morocco on that issue, but I'm asking about 32-206. Does anyone have any issues with that? Then we won't be going in closed session for that discussion. So we are now to move into, are we ready to move into close already? It's only 9 o'clock. Well, I could continue on. I was going to wear two hats in my comments, but I was rushed, and the two hats was going to be a St. Catharines hat and a regional hat, because I was going to suggest that when the new mayors take over the region, what hat are they going to wear when they come here? Because that's been a concern. Perfect. Everyone can wear a St. Catharines hat. Okay. I would like, okay, where are we now?
So we need to move in second and move into closed session.
We need a mover and a seconder to go in closed session right now. Councillor Kyokyo and Councillor Jordan. I'd like to call a vote to go in closed session to discuss what Councillor Morocco has brought forward. As stated in front of us, labor's relations and employee negotiations. CUPE, please vote. It's carried. Thank you very much. Now we'll ask the gallery that we're going in closed session. Unfortunately, we're going to have to ask you to leave so we can have our discussion.
I don't think it's
How many staff would you like to get rid of? Oh.
in front, we have a motion in front of us that I need a mover and a seconder. Confidential report, CSD 32/2026 dated July 30th, 2026. Do you want me to read it?
No.
Okay. We have that on the floor. Counselor Greenwood moves it. Counselor Morocco seconds it. Can we have the vote now, please? And we are approved. What's last on the agenda here? Bylaws, folks. We're into the bylaws. Counselor Secord, could you move him? Oh, Counselor Steele, or he's gone. Counselor Ugolini, would you second that? The bylaws?
Pick someone other than
Ugolini.
Secord.
Ugolini.
Secord's not here either.
Oh, Secord's not, okay. Van's Badaway, we haven't given him a chance. Ugolini and Van's Badaway. My pleasure. It's been fun working with you all these years, off and on. And I'd like to thank Councilor Redekop for not questioning anything I did.
Votes open on the bylaws.
Sorry.
That's okay.
I'm having too much fun.
Keep that chair in alignment.
Yes.
Yes, we are right now. And if you didn't, it's going to be a no vote.
Okay.
There's a lot of no's over there. Okay, you're a yes. It's been carried. Thank you very much.
Other business.
Other number 16 or 18 on the agenda is other business. Does anyone have any other business? Would they like to talk about any of the events that are going on in the community, like in Montebello Park on Friday? The Rotary Club Rib Fest is for the weekend, for 4 days. Come out and enjoy St. Catherine's hospitality with the Rib Fest. Any other announcement?
On Saturday, you come down to the Peach Festival on Queen Street in Niagara Lake and have a peach pie.
Oh, peaches in Niagara on the Lake. Councilor Greenwood. Oh, Councilor Sorrento first, sorry. Councilor Sorrento has an announcement as well, other business.
Update, Chair, through you to the Deputy Chief Administrative Officer. I see that the old police station is down on on Church Street. Can you give us a quick update? Just a comment, please.
Sure, thank you for the question. 68 Church, the former police station in St. Catharines, has been being demolished for the last few months. There's about 6 to 8 weeks worth of work to continue, so demolition should be completed mid-September. And then we're going to be moving forward with the disposition of the property. So we're getting another appraisal, retaining a real estate agent. So things are moving along on the site. It's good news.
And no prisoners
Thank
were
you for the
found.
question.
Follow-up to that, any artifacts taken out of the police building to be erected somewhere else?
Through the chair, they took them with them.
They did. And
Okay.
nowadays, this weekend. Oh, you were next. I was gonna say, Steele's
Now
gone, nobody's gonna say anything.
Go ahead, it's your turn for Port
Well,
Colborne.
there's this little events that we're having this weekend.
Little?
I'm not sure if you ever heard of it, but Canal Days in Port Colborne. Canal Days in Port Colborne, we're expecting up around 600,000-700,000 people over the 4 days. Great bands, great entertainment, great food, a lot of ships, and a lot of fun. Good company, and I hope to see you all down there.
Yeah.
Anybody's going on one of the tall ships, if they get there early,
Yeah.
No other business. I would love to adjourn the meeting now. Thank you, everyone, for participating, and have a nice, long weekend.